Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to answer the question, why aren't my Facebook ads working? Luckily for you, I have a step-by-step guide on how to troubleshoot all of your Facebook ad problems, and I can guarantee that if you address all of these issues, then your Facebook ads will be much more successful. The first question to ask yourself is your offer enticing to potential customers? Or yikes, do you even have an offer? And yes, you do need an offer to get people to buy from you from social media. Think about it. People are not on social media to go shopping. They're there to engage with their friends and to engage with brands that they like. So if you have a good offer for first-time customers, you're so much more likely to get that initial conversion. And the reality is, yes, discounts do better. I would really consider giving them to your first-time customers, especially when you're starting off with your brand. Also consider the language that you're using to communicate your offer. Is it appealing to your potential customer? Also, if you're really hesitant to use a discount, you can also try communicating some more of your brand promises for this offer. Things like a money-back guarantee, or maybe even a free sample of another product could go a long way. Every time I have a campaign that's not doing so well, I always take a second, third, and fourth look at the offer to make sure I'm properly communicating the value proposition and that it's enticing to potential customers. Because frankly, if you don't have a good enough offer to hook customers on social media, then the rest of this isn't going to work as well. Now, if your offer's good, the second thing you need to do is look for stupid mistakes. Now, I know this might seem kind of obvious, but I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a brand's Facebook ads and seen that they were making one of these stupid mistakes and that's why their Facebook ads weren't working. It's way more common than you think, but these are the things you need to look out for. Number one, you need to make sure your ads are actually live and not saved in draft. This is way more common than you might think. Number two, make sure your ads are going to the right URL. And number three, make sure that there's not a huge discrepancy between the number of link clicks and the number of landing page views in your Facebook Ads Manager reporting, because this could signal that there's a problem wrong with your website and maybe it's taking too long to load. Another thing I would take a look at is to make sure that your pixel is working properly. I would go ahead and open up your test events in Events Manager to make sure that all of your events are firing the way they should. Now, the third thing you need to do is look at your targeting. You need to make sure that you're targeting the right kind of people and to determine if there might be an easier way to reach them. Of course, this is way easier said than done. So I actually created a video that goes into all the audiences you need to target on your Facebook ads. And this includes for both prospecting and retargeting so that you can secure all parts of your funnel. Another little tip I like to add into, particularly for your prospecting audiences, is to make sure that there's at least 4 million people in there, because that's the most optimal audience size for Facebook ads. You can even go up to as far as 20 million people, and that's still considered a best practice optimal audience size. With that said, if you have a lookalike audience that only contains about 2 million people, that's perfectly fine. These people, since they're created from a lookalike audience, ideally from purchasers, that means they're super high quality, so you don't need as big of an audience for using 1% lookalike audiences. Another question you have to ask yourself is, does my creative suck? Spoiler alert, it probably does. You need to ask yourself, does my creative attract my potential customers? Does it have the ability to stop people in their tracks when they're scrolling on social media looking for their friends' content and not some brand that they've never heard of? You need to remember that people aren't on Facebook or Instagram to discover your brand. You need to stick out and be sure to stop the scroll. Another thing you need to ask yourself about your creative is, how much creative testing have you done? Have you tested the different kinds of formats that Facebook ads offers, like single image, carousel ads, slideshow ads, and most importantly, video? Frankly, if you aren't using video on your Facebook ads, you are missing out. And these days, you do not need a massive production to have a video become successful on Facebook ads. Frankly, most of my clients use their mobile phones to create 15-second video clips that I can then use on Facebook ads. And these videos work because they seem more organic. They seem something like what one of your friends would have taken. And when people see something that looks like it was taken by one of their friends, they stop the scroll, they pay attention. And if your product is something that they're obviously interested in, which means you have to be targeting the right people, then that's a slam dunk, and they're going to click through to go through your website and hopefully make a purchase. If you want to create a video for your brand using your iPhone, be sure it's about 15 to 30 seconds long, has a lot of fast-paced movement. So what you can do is you can take several video clips and then edit them together. And then also be sure to put your logo within the first 5 seconds of that video so that you can start having some early brand recognition from new potential customers. Now, yes, the next question that you need to ask yourself if you're not getting sales from your Facebook ads is, does your website or landing page suck? Frankly, you can have the offer, the targeting, and the creative down, but if your website doesn't elicit trust and give the right kind of information that people need to make a purchase, you're not going to have sales. You need to ask yourself, does your website provide proper information about the product and about your brand? Another thing I also like to look at on websites is to determine how many clicks it takes to get from the homepage or the landing page to checkout. Frankly, if it takes more than 4 to 5 clicks to get to someone to make a purchase, then that's too many clicks and you need to rethink your user flow on your website. Another thing to consider is if your website is mobile friendly. Now, the reality is that most people, when they discover your brand for the first time, they're going to be on a mobile phone. And if they see your ad, they're interested and they click through the website, but the website is totally not mobile optimized, then you're going to lose that sale. So you actually want to make sure that, your website not only looks good on desktop, but on mobile. Frankly, probably even more on mobile, because nowadays I'm seeing a lot more traffic from mobile devices than desktops, even for people making those purchases. Oftentimes, they're on a cell phone. And the last thing that you need to ask yourself is, does anyone actually want your product? The first way you can determine if you have a product that people actually want is to look at your competitors and see how they're marketing themselves. I have a video that shows you exactly how to spy on other brands' Facebook ads so that you can see exactly what they're doing. Now, if you've already had a few purchases on your website, the next thing I'd suggest is actually to interview your customers. You can actually use the positive feedback that you get from your customers to inform not only your branding and your marketing, you can use the positive feedback from your customers to inform ad creative and your website, and also the negative feedback to fix the problems that you might have not even known that you had. You might also find out other ways to target them by other interests you might have not known that they had. Okay guys, and like I said, if you can address all of these issues, then you can have a successful Facebook ads campaign. If I were you, I'd literally just create a bullet list of all of these issues and highlight the ones that you think you need work on. As always, hit me up in the comments below if you have a question about Facebook ads. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a video reply for every single question I get this month in the comments. So if you have a burning Facebook ads question, let me know, and you can expect a video reply in 1 week. Okay guys, thanks, bye. Also, if you like my Elton John t-shirt, hit like.